revenues, you know, going to the federal government, and we're saying that at that level there is plenty of corruption, which is what the APC claims is trying to clean out. How can we just say, well, we can't just look there? That's not the only place we should look. Look in the states as well.
No, that's not what I'm saying. You're missing it. I'm saying, look at the federal government, look at the agency, get into the books of NNPC, and punish those that have been criminally corrupt.
But your party is complaining. Your party is saying, well,
my party may complain.
Yes.
There are opportune moments when you are in opposition to say anything anyhow you like, if you are like that, if you are so inclined. The fact of the matter is that if anybody that has been accused has not done anything and you are not with something, why should Nigerians be bothered? But you will not go through a process that assumes that our former party members that jumped ship and joined you 2 days ago are suddenly progressive. That's the point we're making here. We concede that the image and the personality of the president suggests that he is able to do this job. We concede that now that he's not a military man, he's a civilian. We also appreciate that there is a very, very erudite lawyer, public administrator beside him as vice president. So we see that between the both of them, whatever it is they need to fix the whole thing about corruption is here. One of them has experience and the stealth and the military discipline. The other has the knowledge of the law and the usage of the law. So what are we waiting for? It's not about talking and shouting and overheating the policy and just talking in the papers. It's about putting the process in place and slowly but gradually cleaning it up. And you may find out that the worst of the corporates are the ones that have now joined APC. It just may happen that way. So what would you then do? You will go after the PDP people, the former PDP people who worked in government, and leave the former APC.
Is that a sign you're beginning to see now?
I think that basically we have not seen nothing. We don't even know the policy direction of this government. At best, we see the president trying to maybe show some example in some location. Sometimes we even ask, does the capacity, the mental capability to do the job, does it exist? But before you can say you're happy and you can assess a government, their structures must be in place. We must know who's in charge of our money, finance. We must know who's in charge of it. We must know those things.
Have this been missed in any way? Are things not moving? Is the government not moving forward, even though there are no metrics?
A nation will move because there are civil servants that can still do the day-to-day work. We are not interested in one go-slow kind of moving. We want the entire enthusiasm.
Do you consider this go slow? I mean, in the space of 1 month or a few weeks.
The media must be careful.
So show me 1 second.
Yes.
You mentioned the issue of power. That there's been power improvement in power supply.
What have they done
hold on. You also talked about the fight against corruption. Suddenly the AFCC is moving around and coming up with its work like it's never done it's not done in a long while. That's what a lot of people will say. It's not done that in a long while.
It is a burden.
So if the EFCC is moving and is carrying on with cases and investigations in all areas, as they say, and there's been power improvement, why do you still need to have appointments before things can be done?
Thank you very much. I'll tell you why. Whatever benefits you are getting from the system now is as a result of two things. Work in progress that was done by our administration that is just coming on stream, and the fact that when you have a new sheriff in town, especially if the sheriff is a no-nonsense person, of a certainty, people will self-correct to some extent. But that's not going to replace the policy trust. That's not going to replace their own agenda. That's not going to replace holding them to the promise of their manifesto. That's not going to replace what you said you're going to do with the dollar. It's even worse now. That's not going to replace how you said you're going to fix Boko Haram and you're going to kick them out of Nigeria within El Dorado of 5 seconds. It's not happening. More people are dying. So what we're saying is that we will not be like them, who see nothing good, hear nothing good, understands nothing good about the PDP. We will empathize with them. We will use beautiful eyes to look for their effort, and then we will then say, okay, we agree with this, and take them on policy. That we may teach the likes of Lai Mohammed how to be in opposition and how to be in power.
Maybe we should just leave it generic and just name names. But could you then tell us,
yes,
what is it that you think that the APC government could have done in a little over 4 weeks or 5 or 6
weeks? Okay, let me tell you some of the things
that they haven't done.
Let me tell you some of the things they could have done. First of all, are they being a political party and not a conglomeration of strange bedfellow? That criminal situation that is existing in the Senate today will not exist. It needn't exist.
Why is it criminal? It happened in PDP? No,
never in PDP. In PDP, in the 16 years of the People's Democratic Party of Nigeria, my party, we never had a situation where the Senate president was from one party and the deputy was from another party.
Isn't it your party that schemed their way into that position?
Listen, Chamberlain, the media must be...
Isn't it? It's a question.
It is not our party. How could it have been our party? In the first instance, our party members went to the house on that day as they ought to go. It was the APC that decided to be roaming around the place instead of going to do the business of the day. It is the Senate president that was not a statesman to recognize that this is not correct, this is not fair on his own party. Why join a new party if your intention is to go and destabilize it? Have they even recovered from that?
Okay, that's one. What are the other ones?
The other ones is that when you have been buzzing to be president for 3 times, and you have the luck of now getting presidency, nobody expects you to be doing as if it's a stroll in the park. We expect you to put your ministers in place. Look, something is trending on social media now. They put a list of all the appointments that the president has done. They put it at about 17. A whooping 14 is from a particular section of the country. We don't run Nigeria that way. Nigeria is necessarily encouraged to figure out how to have spread that every section of the country, notwithstanding the tyranny of the big tribe, will have a sense of buying. These are problems.
About the ministers, and that's the second point that you mentioned. Former President Jonathan didn't appoint ministers immediately he got on to office. It took him weeks as well. I think between 4 to 6 weeks also.
You see, the error we will make, and we'll keep making, and with the media as the fourth member of the estate, those who are supposed to be on their feet must know, is that you cannot do them the favors you did them when they were in opposition. They're in government now. Otherwise, you are going to have the tendency to always just wish away everything they do and pat them in the back and just allow them to continue the way. Listen,
that question pops up because, I mean, your party did almost the same thing.
No.
So on what ground?
When President Olusegun, you see, our party have been lucky. We have had a lot of...
President Jonathan.
Where I'm coming. Our party has been lucky. PDP did not start and end this government with Jonathan. We had Obasanjo, we saw what he did.
No, but
we even had...
You lost elections.
No, we had Obasanjo. I'm coming. We had Obasanjo, we saw what he did. He was still our party. All the gains of Obasanjo belongs to PDP. We had Yar'Adua, we saw what he was able to do even with the challenges of his health. The gain was our parties. We saw when Nigeria was under doctrine of necessity, what do? Our party was creative enough. We thank our party, we take responsibility and we take courage for that and we take the benefits of that. We had Jonathan. Listen, until you can fully imagine how powerful a Nigerian president is, you will not be able to appreciate what it takes to be a gentleman in office. And if you then look at the president that loses an election and immediately concedes, you then begin to say, what manner of guy is this? Because at best he could have said no, and that would have overhit the polity. And when you look at my president on the day of the handover, he had a smile on his face. He was calm. He was happy giving, and he has gone on holidays, come back. The first thing he's saying is not saying they're abusing me. He just said, let Nigerians pray for the president and let us invest. You see, we are trying to show to APC that whether we're in PDP, we're in government or out of government, our character and candor is far better than theirs. We are not in the business of pulling down. We are in the business of looking at the issues, bringing up the issues in as mild and as responsible a manner with better language as we can. Not all that calling somebody clueless, abusing the first lady, converting the country into a joke and a laughingstock in the Committee of Nations. Hey, there can only be one president per time. So the key thing, right now, the president is President Muhammadu Buhari.
So the key thing for you is they should have appointed ministers, and what happened in the National Assembly shouldn't have happened.
What happened in the National Assembly is a major disgrace. It's a major disgrace. Nobody, listen, let me give you a scenario. They go to their caucus meeting, the Senate president attends. Obviously, Keremadu will not go because it's not part of their caucus meeting. They take an agenda that they want to go and do in the House, maybe an executive bill and all that. And tomorrow morning or overnight, the Senate president falls ill, and therefore the next man, Keremadu, must sit down. Is it expected that the PDP will now start to rush agenda on? Because these are some of the
Isn't your party happy about that development?
Well, we may be happy about it.
Very strongly,
listen.
But you're saying it's an embarrassing situation.
We may have taken some benefit from me because we are now the deputy Senate president. It doesn't mean that it is right. Let's get that straight.
So why did you do the wrong thing?
We didn't do anything. They didn't come to the house.
Why didn't you elect your own member of the president? After all, you had the numbers.
No. We didn't have the numbers that day. You see, you will never understand the total workings of a political struggle because you are not a politician, Mape. The most important thing is that the person who ought to have said, no, this is not what we're going to do, is the APC man who eventually won. That's why he has responsibility. But unbraided, inordinate ambition allowed him to take an advantage that was not in the best interest of either the country or his party. But that is their cup of tea. They are going to learn to recognize that what it means to run the country at the national as a political party is not that they are sitting down in Lagos in Bodilon and sipping tea and just yapping away. They are now beginning to deal with this consequences.
Okay, so let me get this straight now. What you're saying is it's okay to help them compound their problem.
No.
But when we do that, then they can deal with it because it's their cup of tea.
No, that's not what we're saying. No, you have to hear me well. What we're saying is that in the first instance, it ought not to be so. In the second instance, now that it is like that, they need to go fix it by themselves. We are not going to do them a favor. They don't do people. This is not a party that is in the habit of doing PDP any favors. It is just superior human relations and better understanding of the nation that is making us guarded in our comments.
All right. We got to go.
You got to go.
One question.
Yes, ask.
You talked about the debt cancellation.
Yes.
But 16 years after, what's the nation's debt profile?
Listen, that you have debt is nothing to be... Listen, that you have debt is nothing to be excited about. Nations cannot really achieve their developmental agenda only on the auspice of what they make. They will have to get into some creative ways of getting this money.
So long-term finance money, if they are properly have those loans been properly utilized? Those loans that brought us to this point where we have a debt of over 6%.
The People's Democratic Party of Nigeria as a government will say yes. It is not, we are not going to be the judge and the jury of how we run government. That is the responsibility of first the Nigerian people and also of the presidency. They can look at the books. Do you think tomorrow morning, if I hear that somebody from NNPC has been called to come and return money back because it took money, you think as a PDP man I won't be happy? There is a time for everything. We have finished the election now. It's time to build the nation. And so what I like to call myself is citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and PDP man.
All right, thank you very much indeed, Segun Shomi, a PDP man, as you heard him say. But we'll be back in just a moment. Don't go away.